A man faces his trauma when his fiancée starts acting like his recently deceased mother. Alone in her home, an elderly woman named Tracy has collapsed. After she's cremated, her son Emmett collects her ashes. Meanwhile, his fiancée Anya writes in a journal but feels uninspired. When Emmett returns, he offers her his late mother's earrings, but she reveals that the holes in her ears closed up years ago. The couple then heads to the lake, where Emmett awkwardly thanks his mother for his life and the house she left behind. Afterward, he dumps the ashes into the water. The two then go to Tracy's old home, which the man inherited. There, Anya finds a portrait of a dancer, and Emmett confirms that she was Tracy when she was younger. Anya wonders why his mother left him the house if she never reached out to him when she was alive. Refusing to discuss it, Emmett initiates intimacy instead but gets interrupted when Anya hears something. They go to the dining room and find the chair where the late owner collapsed from. The two start cleaning up but stop when they hear the door to the basement creaking. The couple heads down to investigate and find more items, including an old bassinet. However, when Emmett tries to lift it, he hits his head. While he tends to his wound upstairs, Anya continues exploring and discovers an old videotape from her fiancé's childhood. During this, Emmett gets Tracy's first aid kit, only to find syringes there. This triggers a memory, so he heads to his old bedroom but hears his mother's voice. To his surprise, Anya is watching his childhood tapes. Overwhelmed, the man heads downstairs for a drink. This angers his fiancée since he won't talk to her, so she orders him to do a chair reversal. With no choice, Emmett lets the woman interview him about his problems. When he admits to being avoidant, they switch places for Anya to pretend to be him. She thinks his problem is that he's traumatized from his mother's abandonment, so he's doing everything to be done with her. Anya adds that she thinks that he's hurrying to start a family to make up for his childhood without addressing his real issues. Refusing to hear more, the man goes to the lake, but his fiancée follows him. He assumes that Anya doesn't want to have a family with him, but she clarifies that she just needs her future husband to open up. Challenging this, the man invites her to swim, which she never learned how to do since her mother didn't teach her. Emmett insists on teaching her, so the two go into the water as Anya gets over her fear. Afterward, the two eat some mushrooms. That evening, Emmett shares that when they arrived, he didn't recognize the house and struggled to recall his childhood. However, Anya is too delirious to focus. She starts playing with a mask from the fireplace but accidentally breaks it. She then declares that she needs to be in the water, so the two go in the bathtub together. As things get passionate, Anya stops upon hearing a whisper. Later, she begins another chair reversal, badgering her fiancé with questions about his feelings. Emmett tries to be passive about this, but when she asks if he wonders why Tracy abandoned him, he gets defensive. She then asks why he wants a family, so he claims it's because he loves her. Despite this, Anya insists that it's because of his mother, and this angers him. Just then, the woman pretends to be Tracy. She declares that the man blames himself for being abandoned, and this pushes him to yell at her. With that, Anya walks off. To his horror, he finds his fiancée dancing outside before collapsing. After taking her to bed, Emmett hears his mother's voice. He goes to check and finds a woman's silhouette calling him in the dining room. The man wakes up in the morning as if nothing happened. Before going out, he takes his mother's portraits from the basement to sell them at a thrift store. However, when he fetches the car keys from Anya's bag, she snatches it off his hands. Just then, the doorbell rings, so he goes to answer it. Outside, he meets the neighbor Bill, so he hitches a ride with him to the nearby town. After his errands, Emmett jogs his way back home, only to find the broken mask from last night fixed while the woman is smoking in the dining room. He scolds her for smoking, but their argument leads to the pizza she's heating to burn. After she serves their meal, Emmett notices the changes in his fiancée's behavior. However, she just comments on his posture and calls him her little wild thing. He tries to ignore these and carry on with his tasks. That night, however, he relents, thinking that Anya is acting to prove her point about his views on his mother. When she claims that she's Tracy, Emmett gets frustrated but tries to play along. He admits that he needs to work on his issues and promises to be a better partner for her. He then kisses her, but this makes the woman gasp. Finally, he realizes that Anya is wearing his mother's earrings and has punctured her own ears with them. Concerned, he calls a friend, wondering if the mushrooms they had yesterday are affecting his fiancée. Later, Emmett sleeps on the couch when he hears whispers. Suddenly, Anya appears and tucks him into bed as if he was a child before going to the bedroom. In the morning, Anya dances in the field to start her day. She then wakes Emmett with a tray of breakfast. This confuses the man since she doesn't cook, but he dismisses it. However, he finds a new journal where she wrote that he's needy, making her think she's cursed to be his forever. The man confronts Anya about this but stops when he sees her putting on his mother's makeup just to buy food in town. After she leaves, he digs through Anya's bag for her old journal and compares the handwriting to the new entry, confirming that they're different. He then spots Anya's purse, but the doorbell rings before he can get to it. A realtor arrives, so he quickly lets her in to assess the place. However, when Anya returns, she tells the woman to leave. She yells that the house isn't Emmett's to sell, but he argues that his mother left it to him. Given the intense atmosphere, the realtor decides to return at another time. As soon as she's away, the man scolds his fiancée and starts packing their clothes, but the woman worries that he's wrinkling them. Emmett yells that she never cared about such things before. Concerned with her changed behavior, he decides to take her to her mother's house, but Anya asserts that this is her house before storming off. Finally, Emmett gets to Anya's purse and finds a sonogram, leading him to conclude that the woman is already pregnant. He confronts her about this, berating her for eating mushrooms and smoking while she's expecting. However, the woman insists that she can't have a baby. After this, the woman dances in the field again. Seeing this, Emmett later meets with Bill, who confirms that Tracy used to dance whenever she felt stressed. When the man mentions that even Tracy didn't know much about his father, Emmett wonders why his mother had him. Bill advises the man to forgive the woman since she never got over losing her little wild thing. Hearing this, Emmett heads home and confirms that his mother's journals are gone. He confronts Anya, accusing her of learning about his mother through the journals to force him to confront his feelings. The woman simply presents her own journal but asks who Anya is. Still convinced that she's just acting, Emmett shares that Anya is his fiancée who thinks he's awful because of his difficult childhood. Anya's mother is a psychoanalyst, making his fiancée believe she is also qualified to diagnose him. In reality, the woman is a frustrated copywriter who wishes she was a poet. Anya asks why it bothers him that his fiancée wants him to open up. So Emmett recounts that she thinks he only wants a family because his mother abandoned him. Hearing this concerns the woman, wondering if that's what he really thinks happened. As if to bond with him, she plays music and teaches him how to dance. While they do, she asks why he won't leave Anya. So Emmett admits that she's the only woman who loves him. Pretending that she's his mother, he asks her why she wanted him. The woman claims that she needed him, though she doesn't know why. She then assures him that she really tried to be there for him, but Emmett is tired of the act. Later, while Anya is watching the tapes again, Emmett sneaks into the basement but stops when he hears whispers. He turns back and sees a vision of his mother's body on the dining room floor. Suddenly, her hand moves and Emmett wakes up in his bed. In the late afternoon, Emmett sees Anya going to the lake. He rushes to stop her since she can't swim, but to his surprise, the woman swims effortlessly. This confirms to him that something serious is happening. He panics that evening, so Anya injects him with a medicine from Tracy's bathroom and holds him through the night. In the morning, Anya wakes up looking confused. When Emmett finds her, he asks her to cook breakfast, but she laughs at this and kisses him. He pulls away, confused by her change in behavior again. While he goes for a run, Anya looks around the house and finds cigarettes on the table. She also notices her heavy makeup and the earring through her newly punctured ears. As her fiancé showers, she begs him to explain what happened last night. However, he reveals that they took the mushrooms 3 nights ago. Afterward, they head to the bedroom, where the woman begs him to open up to her and initiates intimacy, but he pushes her away. With nothing else to do, Anya starts cleaning up. But when she packs some items to dispose of, Emmett takes them back. Pissed, Anya drives to town alone while Emmett watches his childhood videos, ignoring the realtor ringing the doorbell. Soon, Anya returns and finds her fiancé enjoying his mother's old records. He uses the chance to teach her how to dance, much like what she did for him the other night. However, he's displeased when he checks what she bought him for breakfast. After he walks out, Anya discovers her sonogram on the sofa, so she confronts her fiancé, who's fixing the bassinet he found before. She convinces him to do another chair reversal to learn what has been happening. Emmett sums it up as not knowing what's real, but Anya thinks he's upset over something she did while she was under the influence. When asked what she did, Anya guesses that she pretended to be his mother. She then confesses that she's scared about having a child because she is afraid that she can't do it. Emmett thinks this is because a child would get in the way of fulfilling her dreams as a poet. Also, Anya's mother disappeared from her life when she didn't become the amazing poet she aimed to be, so his fiance is convinced that she can't give her child a mother's love. Tearful and enraged, his fiance asks if she looked at her sonogram, which apparently shows that there's no child because she can't get pregnant. However, Emmett just recalls that she said the same thing last night. Driven mad, Anya digs through her luggage for a change of clothes, but her fiance starts reading the new entries in her journal. She argues that she didn't write that, proven by the different handwriting. Despite this, he accuses her of pretending the last few days, and this leads to the two yelling at each other. When she doesn't confess to tricking him, Emmett locks himself in the bathroom with her journal, threatening to burn it. Anya cries that it contains 2 years of her life, but when he finally opens the door, she finds the pages in cinders. The angered woman hurries out to catch her breath while her fiance goes for a run to get away. Emmett still hasn't returned that evening, so Anya removes Tracy's portrait in the living room out of anger. She then packs her bags to leave when she hears someone in the house, though no one is around. Refusing to stay any longer, she grabs her purse but realizes that her car keys aren't there. To her horror, Tracy's portrait is back on the wall, and a disembodied voice whispers her name. Thinking it's Emmett, she searches for him in the basement. Instead, she finds papers on a table, and as she sifts through them, Anya doesn't notice a figure wearing the mask from upstairs walking past her. Upon reading the papers, Anya discovers that Child Protective Services took Emmett from his mother due to neglect. Suddenly, voices echo all around her, but Anya doesn't see anyone around. Just then, she finds a photo of a young and injured Emmett. As she stares at them, the masked figure appears behind Anya and grabs her head. This makes her see visions of Tracy, finally driving her out of the house. Outside, however, she finds Bill dragging Emmett, whom he found passed out by the road. After tucking the man into bed, Bill shares that he hasn't been to that house since he found Tracy's body. Just then, a moth lands on the table, so Anya reaches out to squish it, but the man stops her. He explains that Tracy thought she'd be reincarnated as a bug because no matter what horrible thing she did, she couldn't harm one. He then confesses that he and Tracy tried to be together, but it didn't work out. Despite that, he can't move on from her death. Curiously, she asked what happened between Emmett and his mother. Bill claims that Emmett was a troublesome kid, making Anya wonder if the woman had the syringes to keep her son controlled. One night, the young Emmett showed up at Bill's house with a broken foot, so he took him to the hospital. That was the last time Tracy saw her son. With this story, the two agree that even after all these years, Emmett still needs his mother. After the man leaves, Anya contemplates on leaving again but ultimately decides to stay. While she sleeps, however, a woman suddenly grabs Anya. She wakes up from this nightmare and finds Emmett in the room, asking her to do it. Tearfully, the woman injects him with one of the syringes from the nightstand. As Emmett sleeps in Anya's arms, Tracy's hands appear to guide the woman in caressing his hair. In the morning, Emmett greets his fiance with breakfast and an apology for what he did. He returns her journal to her, revealing that he burned one of his mother's yesterday instead. He assures her that he's feeling better now, so he hopes that after seeing his darkest sides, she can see that he's not that bad. With this in mind, he invites her to enjoy the countryside before returning to the city. The two take a boat to the lake, though Anya is still visibly distressed. She reveals that she was actually relieved when she thought he burned her book since she's nervous about other people reading her poetry. She now feels that she only agreed to start a family with him because she needed something to give meaning to her life. This prompts Emmett to recall how his mother always dismissed him and focused on her art. Anya claims he was needy, but the man asserts that he needed his mother. He declares that his existence was just a reminder of the life Tracy left behind, so she abandoned him. However, Anya reveals that she found records that the government took Emmett from his mother. Finding it odd how much she knows about his past, the man questions how she acted like his mother for days. When the woman doesn't respond, he approaches her and asks if she's his mother. Tearfully, a confused Anya insists that she is his fiancée. Unconvinced, Emmett recounts that Anya can't swim, so he pushes her into the water to test if it's really her. When she doesn't come up after a while, Emmett finally realizes what he'd done and saves her. This becomes the last straw that convinces Anya to leave him. While driving back to the city, however, Anya stops, still conflicted if she's doing the right thing. Just then, she finds an insect on her dashboard, reminding her of her conversation with Bill. Soon she's back at Tracy's house, admitting to herself that she needs a child. In response, Emmett acknowledges that he needs a mother. Anya then embraces her fiance while hiding a syringe behind her. This starts a new dynamic in their relationship as they fulfill the roles the other needs, just like Tracy intended for them.
Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.